I spent time on this, so I hope you guys enjoy.
Step in the rain, feel the adrenaline rush, throwing fists to kicks, the pain we can't hush. And then they find us, we're the real tough guys, breaking down barriers, we aim for the skies. Into the octagon, like a warrior I stand, slaying blows, taking hits as I command. The art of combat, I'm ready to go. Submission, knockout, that's how I flow. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling with might, the golden octagon. The stage we ignite. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling with might, the golden octagon. The stage we ignite.
And we are live from the Golden Octagon Studios in Norfolk, Virginia. This is the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D. Rose.
It would have been perfect, but I didn't take the thumbnail off the screen. We're back, D Rose. We're back.
Yeah.
How do you like the new intro to the podcast, man? I spent a couple hours on that.
Hell yeah, that was dope. That did it. I was it brought back moments that were some good moments, and made me forget about the remember the name celebration that I had like running around in my basement when he ended up TKO and Sean Brady. So yeah, and then getting fired up too with the Sean or with the Ryan Garcia imitation. Ryan Garcia coming off the big weekend this weekend. So yeah, you really brought it full circle with that ending there. Maybe unintentionally, but yeah, brought it full circle.
Yeah, that is the new weekly intro for the podcast. I might have some new ones for like Change of Cheddar or something like that, but for right now, that is the only new one. But it is good to be back, D-Rose. I am happy to be back. There were no fights this past weekend, so we weren't here last week. But yeah, we do have some fights this upcoming weekend, even though they're not the best fights in the world. There going to hopefully be some violence this weekend, and I do enjoy some violence. So with that being said, if you guys want our UFC 300 recap, feel free to watch our live stream on Sunday after UFC 300, where D Rose also ate his beans for the week as well. So for the show today, we are just going to be giving you our UFC news and fight announcements, and then jumping into UFC Vegas 91, Matthias Nicolau versus Alex Perez, preview our picks, and if we have any bets or anything right now. Yeah, so should be a rather short stream today for the most part. But D Rose, how have you been over the past week, brother? And then we will get into the chat, and I see you guys are in here with the donations. So D Rose, how have you been, brother? I'm completely stoked seeing the chat now. Like, holy smokes.
Yeah, no, it's great to be back. It was weird not having a pod last week. I was kind of like, were we, when we didn't have one, coming around that time, I guess we're so just adapted to doing it now. I was sitting there around 8:30 and I was like, I got to get ready. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh shit, no, we're not doing one this week. So field's empty, but no fight card this weekend, but there was some good fight action. I don't know. I'm sure you'll probably talk about it a little bit with Ryan Garcia, maybe your betting weekend. But yeah, that was a pretty good fight. I admit I was falling asleep there at the beginning, but yeah, once Ryan Garcia started scoring the knockdowns, yeah, it jolted me up enough to be able to finish the rest of the fight.
All right. So, yeah, well, I'm glad you're doing well, dude, and I'm glad you're happy to be back here talking about some UFC fights for this weekend. But let's get into this chat because Y'all were going wild on us. We got Lush Low Man in here. We are back, boys. Another Golden Wednesday with the boys. Everything is back to normal. Indeed, it is, Lush. Indeed. We got Austin. Really needed this after a work day. Let's fucking go, boys. Hell yeah, Austin. Appreciate it. Daniel pretty much agreed with Austin as well. We back, boys. We back indeed. Let's go. Good to be back. And Sugar Sharp with a $20 donation. Let's start it off right. Let's go, boys.
Let's go.
Appreciate you, Sugar Sharp. Yeah.
Let's go.
He won, I think, the prize from last Monday, and he let me know that he already got it. So that's what's up. I'm glad you got your package, brother. So appreciate you for the donation, and I'm glad you got your package. So up next, we do have Austin saying, "Damn, Sugar," and then just like Austin, we got Dono Train by Riley, $20. Appreciate you, Riley. Choo choo. There we go. The Dono Train.
Motherfucker.
I appreciate it, Riley. You are an absolute G, my guy. We got Dave Fish for Days. Let's go, indeed. Good stuff, Riley. And then right back at you, brother. And then Riley saying, "Let's go, boys." We got Naeem with the fire. And then Lush Low Man. Why not? Choo choo, Dono Train coming
off the top.
Choo choo. We truly appreciate it. Y'all are too nice to us over here, especially coming back after this week off. It's good to, get a little jolt at the start of the podcast. Gives us a little Peyton Talbot after he knocked out Cameron Simon, dude. That's what I feel like. Sick new intro, boys. I appreciate it, Riley. All right. So you guys seem to be a fan of that one. I love to see it. The channel deserves it. Hell yeah. It's fire indeed. We missed you guys. All right, cool. Finally stumbled on some Chrome at Target. Was rewarded for my search. A Norton Becky auto womp womp. Hey, I believe that's going to be his first auto, so you never know how he may do. So with that being said, D-Rose, I guess you kind of touched on it like a little bit. There was no really UFC fights this past weekend. I saw PFL happen, but you guys know how I feel about PFL. It's like I focus so much on the UFC. When I get a week break, when I don't have to look at 28 fighters, fighting their past 5-10 fights, it seems like a little bit of a break week. So I was relaxing this past weekend, and I did watch Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney, and I was, I had done decent in betting basketball this past week, playoffs happening and such. So I put $24 exactly on Ryan Garcia to win. And to win like 175 and some change, dude. It was like plus 650. And I was like, Ryan Garcia, he's still a good fighter, dude. So, I mean, why would I not just take the shot at it? So, I ended up hitting that, end up winning like 175. And somehow over these last few days, I've tended to slowly lose it all back, betting playoff basketball. So I'm glad that we have MMA and UFC back this weekend, D-Rose. Have you bet on anything over the past week, and how have you done doing so before we get into our UFC news?
Not just a little bit of basketball here and there, man. Not too much because I've been getting my butt busted in UFC enough, so I don't know if I need to keep, trying to dig into the NBA and also end up getting my wallet busted in that one as well. So a few here and there. I've kind of been like break even. Hit like a no sweat the other day. But nothing too crazy.
Yeah,
not like UFC anyway.
Of course, you'll hit the no sweat. It's like
right.
I like when I make the no sweat, I make it be the craziest shit ever. That way, if it's like, well, if I lose it, I get the money back anyway, so it can be crazy. That's the way I look at my no sweats. But let's get into the show, man. So I guess up first, let's start off the UFC news and fight announcements. With probably the best news possible that we can start off with, man. We started off the show with the donations. Let's start off the UFC news and announcement segment with this gem right here, dude. So, UFC news, starting off with UFC 303 is going to be headlined by Conor McGregor versus Iron Michael Chandler, June 29th, International Fight Week, dude. Yeah, I was wanted to go to UFC X and International Fight Week this year, but I will no longer be doing that because I can't even imagine what these ticket prices are going to be, dude. But what's your immediate thoughts on the fight finally getting announced after all this time? Both fighters aren't all wrinkled up old men, dude. They're actually going to fight.
Hey, yeah, neither of them are actually near retirement at this point. Thank goodness. But I don't know especially McGregor. If he loses, he very well could be. I mean, that'd be 3 losses in a row for him. But I mean, I'm at a point to where about time it's finally announced, man. Kind of felt bad for Michael Chandler because he's been on the shelf for damn near 2 years, and I mean, he's one of the more fun fighters in the UFC. And crazy enough, there's probably like a new wave of fans who haven't even like seen him fight yet. So like, he's been sitting down for a long time waiting for this fight, and about time. And yeah, it should be a good fight. I'm still up in the air on who I'm going to pick. And I think the bet lines are even saying that right now. I believe right now it's like -110 last I saw it. So yeah, both ways. So yeah, it's completely open right now in terms of who can win, and it should be a good fight.
Hell yeah, man. I agree. I'm excited for the return of the notorious Conor McGregor, man. And up next, we do have June 1st, UFC 302 in Newark, New Jersey. This one, on the other hand, dude, I don't feel like it's really too far to go. This is a solid weekend trip. This could be a decent pay-per-view to maybe go to, but I would really rather go to a pretty decent one because, this pay-per-view right here doesn't really seem too great. But we got Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier, June 1st in Newark, New Jersey. Kind of an odd place and to be having this pay-per-view fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just really at this point, it's like, Islam, buddy, we need you to get out here and defend your belt. You can't be sitting on the sideline forever. At a certain point, it would have been, I think October would be a year for him to be out by now. So, I mean, shit, Dustin just fought in March. So, and he's turning around and taking this fight as quickly as he is. Badass for Dustin, but it just goes to show, like, man, that was just, of course, hindsight's 2020, but Justin Gaethje had the title shot, man, after KO and Dustin, and he ended up taking the Max fight, losing that the way he does, and now Dustin's getting the title fight after getting KO'd by Justin Gaethje. So it's just, it was just an unfortunate way that broke. But obviously everybody's a Dustin Poirier fan, and oh gosh, I'm going to root for him to freaking knock Islam's head off. But yeah, odds are probably end up getting rear naked choked.
Yeah, most likely, dude. Yeah, it's just I don't know.
It is an
Here
odd
we
placement, though. You're right.
Yeah. Anyway, we got Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa. Also going to be the co-main event. Is that also same card? Yeah.
I believe so.
Co-main event for 302. Yeah. I mean, cool. About time they've fought. I don't know if this fight happens though. What do you think?
If it obviously if it doesn't happen, you know who it's going to be. It's not going to be Strickland. You know who it's going to be. It's going to be Costa. I don't know if he's going to have hair implant complications or.
It says co-headlines, so that makes me think it'll be 5 rounds, Dearest.
Yeah, it is. They said Strickland was the one who asked for it because Costa made like a funny video. Costa made like a funny video where he was,
I saw that.
Ice cream.
He was the ice cream.
Yeah, and then and there was they announced it, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And they're like,
he was like spitting out the ice cream.
Oh. Yeah, spitting out the ice cream as he's eating it. So yeah, Costa, just a constant troll he is. He's super hilarious. But yeah, it is supposed to be 5 rounds. If it does happen, I mean, I think I don't want to say Sean Strickland dog walks him, but I mean, there's a very good chance that Sean Strickland puts the hands on him.
Yeah. Cheers, everybody. Glad to be here. My first live new fan of the clan. I appreciate you for stopping by, Diggity Dank. Not everyone seems to be a fan. There we go. So up next, we do have one that I do not care about in the slightest, dude. We got Diego Ferreira taking on Matus Raumbeski. That's in St. Louis, May 11th. You care about that one at all?
I know Diego Ferreira is your boy. I mean, I know that's who you ride for, but nah, I don't care about this fight.
All right. So up next, we do have Adolfo Bellotto taking on Omar Say. Or is that like like he related to what's his name? Like the Sadabusi from fucking PFL. That's what it is. Why do I keep wanting to say fucking Bellator? I didn't know what it was.
Well, they're together now. Dude, Dana White in the press conference for the UFC 300, like the post-fight press conference, called them PFLator. Dude, like that was, I was like, man, I'm not gonna lie, that's nice. PFLator. That was. I'm gonna coin that to run with it now. That's hilarious. But dude, I cannot get over how much Bellotto on the left looks like a bad guy in some Disney Pixar movie. Like I swear, like he looks like he is like a bad guy. And maybe in the the family movie, whichever, The Incredibles. Yeah, The Incredibles. Yeah, he definitely looks like a bad guy in The Incredibles or something like that. I just can't get over that.
Indeed. We've got Rude Boy Randy Brown taking on Elizu Zaleski dos Santos. UFC 302, June 1st as well. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this isn't a fight card that I think I would try to go to, especially being pay-per-view and being that much money, dude.
You're telling me you're not pumped to see Randy Brown versus Zaleski dos Santos? I mean, you're telling me you wouldn't be just absolutely out of your seat?
Not to pay $500 for nosebleed seats for, dude. Anyway, International Fight Week. We've got Joe Pyfer taking on Marc-Andre Barriault, UFC 303. What's your thoughts on this one, man? Solid. Yeah, I guess a lower down in competition bounce back fight for Joe Pyfer, yeah?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. Just a get right fight for him. I think Jack Hermanson, I think we both even said it kind of going into it. I think we both thought that Joe Pyfer was going to win, but we had both felt like that, Jack Hermanson was a bit of a big jump for him from where he was fighting. But I guess he had mowed through GM3 so quickly. It was like, oh shit, he might be ready. But yeah, Jack Hermanson proved to be too much. I think Marc-Andre Barriault, he's super tough. But I do think in terms of Joe Pyfer, I think this is a potential for a get right fight for him.
Fair enough. I agree. Yeah, I don't care about that one. Daniel Marcos, John Castaneda. You care about that one?
Nah.
Well, I guess UFC is going to be in Louisville, so on June 8th. So that's not too far from you, Deros. That's in Kentucky.
Hey, shit. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's like I had to look and see exactly how far. I believe between 5-6 hours, something like that, from here. So not too bad.
That's like from me to you, dude. You can make it. Anyway, Jeremiah Wells is out. Nico Price will now face Alex Moreno at UFC 302. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that one?
I mean, it's a good matchup for Alex Moreno. I'm a Nico Price fan, but he just, his last couple of fights, he just looked completely just washed. I mean, he's coming out there with ankle and knee braces. Like, yeah, I mean, at this point,
coming out there wrapped up like Roxanne.
Yeah, I mean, is he going out there to fight, or is he going to get to the skate park? I mean, he's like having all kinds of pads and bandages and shit on him, man. Yeah, poor Nico Price, man. He's giving us his all. He's just an old dog now, man. And yeah, I think Alex Moreno he should wipe away with him, but poor Nico Price, man.
Yeah, he is all wrapped up like Roxanne Modafferi used to be at her last few fights. Dude. Just every brace you can have, That's what it was on. Dude, UFC 303 looks like it could be another absolute banger pay-per-view card, dude. We've got Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill going to turn around, I guess, what is this, 3 months after? 4 months after being knocked out to take on Khalil Roundtree, UFC 303, June 29th. I know these are two of your favorite fighters to watch, man. So you want to give me your feelings on this real quick?
Yeah, man. I think it's a quick turnaround. It's a very quick turnaround for Jamal Hill, and I think, and Khalil, he's had a lot of momentum coming up, and I've always been a fan of Khalil. His problem has always been his consistency, just in terms of where his headspace is at going into a fight, because he fights with himself so much just to like even get ready, like mentally. But he's obviously shown through his athleticism and just his fights, he just has his mean streak to him. It's fun to watch. And Jamal Hill, man, I'm telling you, if he's turning around this quick and he ain't going to be ready, dude, Khalil, that's the wrong dude to go in there when he's motivated to go in there, kind of half-stepping like he was against Alex. Because once Khalil gets going and starts working that forward pressure, dude, he throws bombs and he hurts people, man. So Jamal Hill's a cleaner boxer, but, man, that should be a good fight.
Indeed. I don't care about this one. We got so many to go through, man. That's this weekend. Here we go. We've got Loic Radzhabov taking on Trey Ogden, Vegas 94, July 20th. You care about that one at all?
It should be a solid fight. I'll definitely bet it. I know Radzhabov is I know he's looked good in his first few fights too, when Trey Ogden's came along at the plate. So it should be a good fight.
I agree, man. We've got the return of Gabriel Bonfim going to be taking on Angelusa July 13th. What's your thoughts on that matchup? Gabriel Bonfim coming back after losing to Nicolas Dalby.
I'm curious to see if that fight will even happen. But that's actually sneaky a tough fight for Gabriel Bonfim. That's Angelusa is not a dude who you can put away very easily, and we saw with Bonfim, even though he was able to take Dalby down, once he wasn't able to get those submissions, he just completely gassed. And all of a sudden, Dalby took over. So, Angelusa, maybe not as big as Nicolas Dalby, but capable of the same thing. So that's actually a tougher fight than people might think.
All right. We've got Myra Bueno Silva taking on Macy Chasson International Fight Week as well, June 29th. UFC 303. You care about that one?
Macy Chasson always seems to get like a fight on a big time pay-per-view. I don't understand how, and she always ends up being on like the early prelims or something like that. But she always seems to kind of sneak in there on those big pay-per-views. Every now and then. The UFC really seems to like her. And for Myra Bueno Silva, yeah, we saw how rough she looked in that Rocky fight after the first round. So, really during the whole fight, but very much so after the first round. So, Chasson, if she's able to keep the distance, man, she could very well win that fight and maybe be fighting for a title next. As crazy as it sounds.
Could you imagine Kayla Harrison versus Macy Chasson for the 135-pound championship? It's like, how are either one of these girls making 135 pounds? They're both going to miss weight.
The problem is, Macy Chasson has a repeated history of missing weight, like multiple times. And it's like, well, you had the chance to fight at 145. Why did you not just fight at 145? I
don't think that's a division anymore. I don't think that's a division.
I think they kind of like slowly shadow banned it. Like they never announced anything, but once Amanda Nunes retired, they was like, all right, let's shut up shop. And just never booked a fight for it again. But what I'm saying is, had she had stayed at 145, she could have gotten a title fight, maybe even a little bit quicker. And who knows if she upset Amanda at 145? She could have been a champ at 145. Who knows? But continuously missing weight at 135 is crazy.
Yeah, I love comments. Piss break. You ain't wrong. Yeah, dude. Dude, the lines at UFC events, dude, for the bathrooms is like literally 2 rounds. You're just standing in a line to take a leak, dude. It's
Oh my
terrible.
gosh.
Yeah. We've got Nathaniel, the prospect, going to be taking on Daniel Pineda, dude. UFC 304, July 27th. What's your thoughts on that? That's
Oh,
in
is that the one that
England.
they're trying to bring over
Yeah.
to Manchester?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe they're going to get Aspinall to headline. I
Indeed.
think that's what the rumor is, but yeah, that should be a good fight. Nathaniel Wood, he's good striker, good takedown defense, and Daniel Pineda, decent striking, but we know he likes to take it to the ground and get them subs. So yeah, it's a good matchup and should be a good fight.
Indeed. I guess not too bad of a one. We got Andrea KGB Lee taking on Montana De La Rosa. That is on the Louisville card, June 8th. You care about that one at all, D-Rose?
I think my surprise that you've seen on my face is that Andrea Lee is actually still in the UFC. I'm not gonna lie, I thought they would have. I truthfully, has she not lost 3 or 4 in a row? So yeah, I'm surprised that they have not cut her just yet. But maybe she's fighting out the rest of her contract. Yeah, I think this one could be another piss break, as the boys are saying, though. Especially if Montana gets it the way that she wants to and gets it to the ground. So yeah, that's another piss break there.
Yeah. I don't disagree, man. We've got Mike Malott taking on Gilbert Urbina, July 13th. What's your thoughts on that, man? This is one like a get right spot for Mike Malott, but also it could be a step up spot for Gilbert Urbina. But I just have trouble seeing the RGV bad boy get it done over Mike Malott. What's your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, Urbina seems to get hurt pretty quick too, and he seems to get hurt to the body a lot, and that's one thing that Mike Malott, especially in that first round, he comes out throwing heat. He's got good body kicks as well, so yeah, I'm with you. That should be a get right fight for Mike Malott, but should be a good fight for as long as it lasts.
Indeed. What is this? I'd rather watch these girls kiss than fight. Private comment. I don't think that's how it works, Riley.
I think they have a site for that, but
poor Gilbert. All right. We've got, dude, and the last one just announced right now, like a few minutes ago. Dana White popped on Instagram and said, "Hey guys, got some fight news. We've got new Monza, Joaquin Buckley, gonna fight Nursultan Rizaboev, as it's going to be the co-headliner of UFC St. Louis May 11th." And I know you're like, all right, who's changing weight classes here? Nursultan Rizaboev is moving down to 170, dude. So this giant man is going to move down to 170. What's your thoughts on him moving down? And then what's your thoughts on this fight?
That's why, like, when I saw the picture, like, that's why my jaw dropped, because I'm like, that's the big, giant, tall ass dude. That's the dude who just smoked.
Just fought, yeah. Cedric
Dumas, right?
Yeah,
man. Oh wow,
dude, he's gonna be a problem down at 170. if he can make 170, dude, could you imagine the problem he's going to be for 170?
Well, let's see this weight cut though. Yeah, let's see this weight cut and see how it goes. But man, for Buckley, man, that kind of I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like a setback for him. I mean, he just fought Vicente Luque, and he's kind of maybe fighting a tougher guy coming from another division that. I thought he was kind of talking about wanting to have like a title fight kind of moving forward. And not title fight in the next fight, but, kind of working his way up towards that. I mean, maybe the UFC told him something that, maybe that he has a, backdoor agreement with them. Who knows? But, yeah, just a strange booking. But, man, there's also making 170.
Like he wants to fight his hometown.
Right, but I get it. I guess maybe he's just that motivated to fight at home. Then, that's the only thing I could think. Other than that, I mean, yeah, it's just strange. This strange matchmaking, I think.
And then you kind of pointed at the only other news that I had was Tom Aspinall was going to be headlining that UFC 304 event in England, and then Lush sent me something earlier. It was Jared Cannonier versus someone, but I don't know if I 100% believe it, Lush. So I'll let the people know what it is, but it says fight news. Added to UFC 302 main card, Jared Cannonier versus Nick Diaz. Dude, I don't know if I believe that, but yeah, Lush sent me a little screenshot of something earlier. You think that happens, or you think that's some fake news?
Gotta be fake news. I mean, if Robbie Lawler chopped through, Nick Diaz in his last fight the way he did, dude, I just can't imagine what the amount of hurt that Jared Cannonier will put on him. Even though Jared Cannonier is kind of like sneaky old. What is he, like 38, 39 at this point now? But dude, look at the absolute hellacious beating that he put on Marvin Vettori. Could you imagine him doing that to Nick Diaz? No. So yeah, I mean, I got to see them actually throwing hands in the octagon for me to believe it. But I mean, it could, but I wouldn't believe it.
Diggity dang. So I saw Nick Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. Yeah. So it's probably fake. It's probably fake. I wouldn't believe it until it pops up on, one of the screenshots that I pull up here. I have a hard time believing it. I don't know if it's from a trusted source or not for the most part, because a lot of people just kind of just make shit up. Oh hell no, we ain't losing.
Nick Diaz army, motherfucker.
Yeah, D-Rose on the thumbnail. All right, D-Rose. With that being said, let's get into, I guess, the rest of the show at this point, which is our UFC Vegas 91 Matthias Nicolau versus Alex Perez. I forgot his first name there for a second. I was like, what is this dude's name? Alex Perez, our preview, our picks, and such. So with that being said, let me share my screen, and then we'll get into it. Let's not share the audio unless you guys want the Colgate commercials in your ears or Allstate commercials, what's been playing. Anyway, we've got UFC Fight Night, Matthias Nicolau versus Alex Perez. Going to be taking place this Saturday, April 27th at 4 p.m. East Coast time is when the prelims start. It is at the UFC Apex, and we have 13 fights to go over, headlined by a 125-pound division main event, dude. We got Matthias Nicolau taking on Alex Perez. We've got Superman Ryan Spann taking on the Russian Anthony Smith, Bogdan Guskov. We've got killer Karine Silva taking on the Queen of Violence, Ariane Lipski. We've got UFC newcomer Johanna Denise taking on Austin Lane. I'm surprised he's still in the UFC, man. We've got Jonathan JSP Pierce taking on David Onama, and I pointed this out to D-Rose before the show. My shirt is the Izzy celebration, or is it the David Onama celebration? You don't really know,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I did it just because it was cool. I knocked out a Brazilian. He knocked out a Brazilian. You big goof.
Anyway, we've got the Dirty Bird Tim Means taking on Urosh the Doctor Medic. We've got, dude, Hani Yahya is still doing this. He's going to be taking on, but I mean, Victor Henry is kind of an old fighter himself, so, not the worst matchup in the world. We do have Austin Thud Hubbard taking on Michael Figlak. We've got Lord Kong Mays taking on Caio Machado. We've got Ketlin, I believe her name is Esquidina Souza, taking on Marnik, the sawed-off savage man, dude. What a fight name. Anyway, we've got James Lontop taking on Chris, I think it's Taco Padilla, believe it or not. We've got Ivana Petrovic taking on the Dragon Girl, Nala Yang, dude. She's back. We are for sure making a bet on this fight this weekend. And we've got opening the card as a whole, we've got Mahashate taking on Gabriel Mobley Benitez. So, what's your thoughts on the card as a whole, D-Rose, before we get into it?
I mean, there's some sneaky solid fights on there, so I can't be the biggest hater of the card, but yeah, it's just, coming off of what was UFC 300, like, bro, I don't know about you, but like there's still like a little bit of a hangover. And I think it's just because there was that week in between to where we really need kind of like another fight night to kind of like offset what UFC 300 was, but gosh, it's going to be hard to follow that up, man. But yeah, I mean, trying to come a little correct, but yeah, sneaky good fights, but yeah, let's go with the C minus. C. We'll go C.
Bro, what's
I'll say.
happening? I like lost. I don't know what happened. Like lost the internet there for a second. Like you and me lost. But now we're back. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, yeah. So let's get into it. First fight of the night. You'll have to keep an eye on it for us, D-Rose. Yeah, we've got Mahashate taking on Gabriel Mobley Benitez. So once this loads, let me go ahead and get my fight odds loaded up because that's smart, right?
You would think that would be wise.
Yeah, well, now I was trying to get me to log in and shit, dude. Here we go.
All this technology bullshit. Two-way authenticator, my ass.
All right. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But hey, I'd rather have it than be hacked. So it is what it is. Anyway, up first, we've got Mahashate taking on Gabriel Mobley Benitez. Mahashate is 9-3 overall, lost 2 out of his last 5 to Rafa Garcia via decision, and then got knocked out by Vyacheslav Barshev. But I mean, you can't get him down. He's going to knock you out. Anyway, before that, he knocked out Mean Machine Steve Garcia, which is good, and then won on the Contender Series. On the other hand, Mobley Benitez got submitted by Jim Miller 3 months ago after being kind of dropped down first, right? I could have swore he got like fucking dropped and rocked.
Yeah, I mean they were scrapping. Yeah, they were scrapping, and I think he ended up hurting him, backing him up to the fence, and ended up like taking his bag. But yeah, that was a little bit more of a scrap than anticipated.
Yeah. Anyway, ended up knocking out D-Rose is one of his favorite fighters, the American Bad Boy, or D-Rose calls him the Broccoli Rob, Charlie Ontiveros. That's probably his best win. Got knocked out by David Onama, and then, yeah, that was 2 years ago. Billy Q knocked him out from back control 2 years ago. Do you remember that?
Do you remember that? Yeah, it was the body. He had the body. Yeah, he had the body triangle, and like literally, like was just. I think. Didn't Benitez have the body triangle while Billy Q was like crushing him like on the ground? Like wasn't that how it was, I believe?
I thought he had him like in the backpack and was just like beating him up like in the backpack and ended up getting fucking stopped. I was like, what the hell did I just even see? Like I hadn't
or Billy Q's back was on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, he had the body triangle. He was on his back, but was still like laying on the ground. It was a weird stoppage, but
indeed. But anyway, Mahashate is currently wait, this is all out of order. Mahashate is currently a -215 favorite. Gabriel Mobley Benitez is a +164 dog. Mahashate, 24 years old, 6 foot, 71-inch reach, while Mobley Benitez is 35 years old, 5'8", 71-inch reach. Yeah, I feel like we've already spent enough time on this fight, to be honest. I'm probably going to go Mahashate. Might knock out Mobley Benitez, but if not, Mahashate should at least win the first 2 rounds. Dude, he's got solid amount of power for 155, dude. So give me Mahashate to knock out Gabriel Mobley Benitez. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, Mahashate, he's got good boxing, good striking overall, good power, but he carries a lot of that early, and he tends to kind of fade as the fight goes. And I think Gabriel Benitez, He's kind of one that I think you can hurt him early, but if you don't hurt him early, he can use his wrestling to kind of take over late. I mean, I think it's just such a big line of Mahashate for him to be getting clobbered his last two. Man, I get to pick for pick champ anyway, so I get to decide if this is going in or not. I'm gonna go Mobley here. I'm gonna go Gabriel Benitez here. I'm gonna go with the dog. I don't know, that line just kind of throwing me off. But yeah, let's go Mobley here.
All right, our first different pick of the night. I am on Mahashate. D Rose is on Gabriel Mobley Benitez. So next fight of the night, we do have going to be my first bet of the night, but going to be an interesting fight, dude. We've got Ivana Petrovic taking on the Dragon Girl, Na Liang or Liang Na, whichever one it's going to be. Anyway, Ivana Petrovic was undefeated before she came to the UFC. In her last fight, lost to Luana Carolina. Get off of my screen. On the other hand, Na Liang, Dragon Girl, is 19-7 overall. Lost all three of her UFC fights: Ariane Carnellosi, Silvana Gomez Juarez, and JJ Aldridge. So this is her. I mean, if she loses this, she's probably going to get cut from the UFC. Currently, odds for this fight are minus 530 for Ivana Petrovic and plus 360 for Dragon Girl Na Liang. Ivana is 29 years old, 5'8" and a 70.9 inch reach. What an odd reach. And while Dragon Girl is 27 years old, 5'5" and a 67.3 inch reach. Also a odd reach as well, dude. So I love me some Na Liang, dude. She comes out and like fights like her hair is on fire, dude. She's just coming out, just swinging, has absolutely no power. Her whole goal is to take you down and just get some kind of like first round armbar, dude. I think, let me see. She has 19 wins, dude. I'm pretty sure 18 of those came in the first round, and the 19th win was like in the second round, dude. She has like 100% finish rate, and she comes out like she double parked her car outside, dumped some gasoline on her hair, and just lit the match. And then fucking Tyone's like, go. And she's like, fucking. So my first bet on this card that I know I will have is this fight to be under 1.5 rounds, dude. I don't think Na Liang has one fight in the UFC over 1.5 rounds. And she fought JJ Aldrich in her last fight. That finishes no one. And JJ Aldrich finishes Na Liang in the second round. So, yeah, dude, give me Ivana Petrovic to probably win this fight, dude. But I'm going to be rooting for Dragon Girl. And I would be lying to you if I didn't say I would probably maybe throw $5 at like Dragon Girl round 1 sub, because that's her path to victory. If she wins, that's how it's going to happen. So, yeah, this fight under for me, but give me Ivana to win this fight, probably second round knockout, to be honest, or maybe second round sub, but probably not over 1.5 rounds, to be honest. What's your thoughts here, man?
Yeah, I love when I saw Na Liang on the card, I knew you were going to be absolutely pumped. Even though it's been a grip since her last fight, right?
I'm pretty sure they cut her, and then they're like, hey, you have one more fight on your contract, because it's like, they just needed her for this fight.
yeah, no, that makes sense. But yeah, I thought she was going to be gone from the UFC, but yeah, I'm with you. I think she just runs into too many big shots, and yeah, we'll see. We will see. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to go Petrovic too. Just keep it simple. Now Liang's she's gonna probably walk into some type of big punch that's gonna get her rocked and either ground and pound it or sub. So yeah, I'm with you. I think Petrovic gets it.
Absolute shocker, D Rose.
Minus 530. I ain't touching it though. I ain't touching it.
All right,
Hell
so
no.
we'll move on to the next one. That is James Lontop taking on Chris. I believe it is Taco Padilla. So Goku, James Lontop, is 14-2 overall, won all 5 of his last 5, while Taco, Chris Padilla, is 13-6 and has probably one of the coolest fight names that I can remember in a long time, dude. That's a sick fight name. Anyway, we got Taco, Chris Padilla. Dude,
So
hell yeah.
stupid.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go, Taco. Anyway, James Lontop is 14-2 overall, fighting out of Peru. 24 years old, 6 foot, and a 73-inch reach, while Chris Padilla, or Taco, is 13-6 overall, won 4 of his last 5. His only loss was to split decision. And he is 28 years old, 5'9", and a 74-inch reach. Currently, odds for this fight are a -350 for James Lontop and Yontop. Now that I know he's from Peru, and for Chris Padilla, Taco, he is a +255 dog, dude. How confident can you be in either one of these fighters? Coming off the contender series, winning via decision, and then knocking out Justin James, dude. So, I mean, how confident can you be for the most part? D-Rose, I'm going to let you pick here first, then might go the opposite, might go the same way you do.
Yeah, I think the only one that I really know about here is Goku, just coming from the contender series. But I do remember his fight. He's got good striking, good he uses his elbows, he works well in the clinch. Yeah, so he's a very potent striker, man. I could very well see a maybe a knockout in this scenario here. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super familiar with the background of Taco completely, except for, as you said, knocking out Justin James. I mean, that dude, I think he had like one good UFC win, and after
he's
that,
the guitar
Justin
hero.
James,
Watch your mouth.
yeah. It's so stupid. But no, he also was known as like the one who would get crushed by everybody. That was kind of like a get right fight for somebody in the UFC as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go Goku here. James Lontop, yeah, I'm gonna go Goku here.
All right.
I think he gets a knockout.
I'm going to go the other way simply because I feel like every time I pick one of these Peruvian prospects, dude, they let me down. I think Rolando Bedoya let me down. For some reason, I end up betting Claudio Puelles, and his last fight let me down again too, dude. And, I just, until I see Peruvian MMA maybe take a step up, maybe I need to stop picking the Peruvian fighters. Let me go with someone that has the way cooler fight name in Taco. And knowing that he has beaten UFC vets, I like that. So give me the +255 dog, Taco Chris Padilla, to win this fight, probably via decision. That's how I'm going. So how you like them apples, D-Rose?
Oh, so you surprised me there. I thought you were going to go. Montop there, but yeah, I mean, also Bahamondes. He's another one that has because he's Peruvian as well, right?
I'm not sure. I think he might be. Something tells me he's not from Peru. He's from somewhere else. I don't know. I could be wrong, but who knows? Who knows? So let's move on to the next fight. That is Ketlin Souza taking on Marnik Mann. Oh, I'm sorry. So I am going Chris Padilla for that one. D Rose is going James Lontop or Yontop. So we'll move on to the next one. That is Ketlin Souza taking on the sawed-off savage Marnik Mann. Esquadinha Ketlin Souza is 13-4. She lost 1 out of her last 5 to Karina Silva via knee bar 10 months ago. Hasn't fought since. Marnik Mann, on the other hand, the sawed-off Savage, is 6-2 overall. Should not be in the UFC at all. Lost on the Contender Series to Bruno Brazil, won outside the Contender Series, and then got brought in and just got crushed by Josephine Knudsen for 3 rounds straight, dude. She got, I believe, knocked down in every single round. Anyway, currently odds for this fight are plus 255 for Marnik Mann and minus 350, the favorite for Ketlin Souza. Ketlin Souza, 28 years old, 5'3" and a 63-inch reach, while Marnik Mann, the sawed-off Savage, is 31 years old, 5 foot and a 64-inch reach. Yeah, D-Rose, I got to go Ketlin Souza here just via decision, just because she's the better fighter. But, dude, off her back, she's dog shit. So if by some way the sawed-off Savage ends up on top, landing elbows, I'm going to be like, oh, fuck, here we go, dude. But give me Ketlin Souza to win this fight via decision.
Yeah, I got to go with you here. I think Ketlin Souza, bigger girl, seems to be the stronger girl. She'll probably end up using a lot of her wrestling. And as you said, another decision here. I think this one would be one of those, as we can call, a piss break. We're definitely taking the piss break on this one. If you got to go pick up the food somewhere, something like that, if you got to, if you don't want to pay that delivery fee to the pizza man, but you want to go pick it up at the place, this is the fight to do it.
You got 15 minutes. Go get you some za. All right.
Let's
so
go.
Me and D-Rose both
no delivery fees over here.
Me and D-Rose both on Ketlin Esquadinha Souza here. So up next, we've got a fun one. We've got Don't Lord Kong Mays taking on
Your
Bigfoot
guy.
Caio Machado. Lord Kong is 10-6 overall. Out of his last 5, he has lost 2, won 2, and this dreadful fight right here, Hamdi Abdelwahab, split decision loss, where Hamdi was on every steroid known to mankind and lost me the pick champ for that week. And since then, I can't get his fight right. I'll pick him to win, and he loses. I think I was like, and then after that, I was like, I'm done picking him. Andre Arlovsky's probably going to beat him, and he ended up knocking out Andre Arlovsky super early. I'm like, well, he should. And then that terrible fight against Rodrigo Nascimento in their last fight, dude, gross. Anyway, Lord Kong is 32 years old, 6'6" and an 81-inch reach, and Bigfoot Caio Machado is 8-2-1 overall. He is 29 years old, 6'4" and a 78-inch reach. Lord Kong is a minus 108, and Caio Machado minus 118. I can't pick Don't Mays D-Rose, so give me Caio Machado to win this fight via decision, because Mays just looks like he's asleep in the picture, and he fights like he just woke up, dude. And I'm not getting into it this week, man. Who you going here?
Fighting like he just woke up is the most perfect definition of him, because it's like, I mean, if he's got that morning jolt of coffee, he will come out and bust your ass. Or if he's just, dude, it could be one of them Monday mornings, man, where you just cannot get going. And he just cannot get going for the life of him. So yeah, that was perfect. But I think I'm thinking the same as you, Caio Machado. Probably not going to keep it standing with Dontel Mays here, but likely going to go ahead and try to take it to the ground. He's got a bunch of submissions to his name, and that's where Dontel Mays can get exposed. Is once he gets taken down. He's got pretty good takedown defense, but once he gets taken down to the ground, you'll see, as you like to say, he is dog shit off the back. So he's a little rough there. So I think Caio Machado takes advantage of that and I think he gets a submission win. So let's go with Caio Machado here.
All right, fair enough. I like it. I just don't want Lord Kong to win, man. Every time he wins, it just makes me unhappy, because all the times I picked him to win, and he fucking can, dude. So I just don't want to see him win now. Like, you know what? I'm not going to pick you no more. Fine. You don't want to win? Not going to pick you. Fair. All right.
Cody Brundage. Yeah. Welcome. That's exactly how I am with Cody Brundage. Every time I bet him to win, he's lost. So yes, that is your Cody Brundage right there.
All right, so we'll move on to the next one. That is Austin Thud Hubbard taking on the Mad Dog, Michael Figlak, dude. Austin Hubbard is 15-7 overall. Lost 2 of his last 5 to Kurt Hollowball and Vince from Hell Paschal. And then Michael Figlak is 8-1 overall. Only loss was to Faraz Ziam via decision a year ago. Currently, odds for this fight are plus 132 for Austin Hubbard and a minus 170 for Michael Figlak. Austin Hubbard, 32 years old, 5'10" and 71-inch reach, while Michael Figlak is 27 years old, 5'10" and a 70-inch reach. D-Rose, I'm going to let you go first here so you can't say I took your pick.
Yeah, so I mean, I know Figlak. I know his last loss is coming off of against Fares ZM. But from kind of everything that I've been able to see, honestly, I think him and Austin Hubbard kind of fight a little bit similar. I mean, I think Figlak's striking is a little bit more crisp, but they can both use good boxing. Both can use their wrestling in the clinch. And I'm kind of with you with these type of Cage Warriors type guys. I mean, I know he hasn't fought in the UFC in 2 years, but he was with Cage Warriors previously. Sometimes, man, like there's a few of them, obviously Connor, Ian Gary. There are guys like that crossover that you see, they're striking and, they could take it to the top of the game. But a lot of these dudes come in with a lot of hype and tend to fizzle out quick. So I'm kind of in a stage where these guys, I think they kind of need to kind of prove it to the UFC. Austin Hubbard, I know he's kind of off of the loss in the Ultimate Fighter finale, and but I think this is kind of like a kind of a show me moment for him, and I think kind of the more battle tested guys, Austin Hubbard as well. So I'm going to actually take Austin Hubbard here as the dog.
All right, looks like me and you are both on the same page here, man. So I'm not going to take your pick, but I am picking the same as you. You know how I feel about Cage Warriors, dude. Aside from the few, like I'm in the same boat. Kind of gotta show me. I'm in the same way with the jungle fights now too, dude. Like after I seen these Bonfim bros just get like kind of exposed, dude. I need to see them. I mean, but even still, I would have probably believed in them just because of what they have done to that point. But yeah, dude, these Cage Warriors dudes, they just come to the UFC and they just seem to just get like smoked 3 times and just out of the UFC. So until I see Michael Figlak win a fight, I don't know if I believe in him too much. And I probably wasn't too high on Faraz Ziam, dude, just because of the way Terrence McKinney treated him, dude. He just treated him like T-Rex treats everyone, dude. So it's like, how good is Ziam really? So I don't know, dude. I really like Austin Thud Hubbard as the dog here this week, and I'll probably be betting him. Maybe straight up, I might throw him in a few parlays as well. But it looks like me and D-Rose are both on Austin Thud Hubbard this weekend to defeat the favorite in Michael Figlak. So moving on, we've got Hani Yahya, the legend of Hani Yahya, dude. I cannot believe he's still fighting, man. Yeah. Anyway, he
just looks like your old granddad when he's out there fighting. Like he does. Dude, he looks like your old granddad out there.
He's got to have been in the UFC for like 15 years now, right? Like,
and he's probably had a total of like 10 fights in the UFC.
Probably 12 fights. That'd be my guess. 12 fights in 15 years.
Yeah. He fights like once, like every 18 months. Good consistency there. At least he's consistent.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, here we go. We've got Hani Yaya, who is 28-11-1, taking on Victor La Mangosta Henry, that is 23-6. And out of Hani Yaya's last 5 fights, he's won 2, lost 2, and a draw with a draw with or is this majority decision? Is that win or a draw? I don't know what that is. Enrique Barloza. Anyway, that was 4 years ago. I don't even remember. Out of Victor Henry's last 5 fights, he got to the UFC, won against Hani Barcelos as a huge underdog. I remember cashing that one that night. And then I lost a lot of money in his next fight against Rafael Asuncao when I picked him to win, and he went out there and laid an egg and didn't do anything. He did defeat my guy and D Rose's guy, Tony Gravely, via split decision. And then 6 months ago, he got his balls absolutely obliterated by a spinning back kick from Javan Basharat to the nutsack. And then don't forget, the doctor came in and was like, "No, you didn't get hit in the nuts." He was like, "Yes, I did. It was all dick and balls." He was like, "No, you didn't." He's like, "What?" Like, how are you going to tell me I didn't get kicked in the nuts, dude?
And wasn't it twice?
Yeah, dude, it was a few times.
Like, yeah, like I remember, like it was like, yeah, that's like you said, that spinning back one, like, yeah, I remember it was so loud.
He was like, it was all dick and balls.
No, you didn't. Like, bitch, how you gonna tell me? Like, literally, look at the fucking replay.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, dude, I don't think Victor Henry ever been submitted. Hani Yaya's only way to win is via sub. Are my lights flickering?
I didn't notice.
Oh no. Hopefully I'm not trying to lose power, D-Rose. Let me step on the gas here. Yeah, Victor Henry never been subbed. Hani Yaya, that's the only way that he wins is via sub. So give me Victor Henry to win this fight via decision. Currently plus 350 for Hani Yaya, minus 520 Victor Henry. Yeah, dude. I mean, Victor Henry 3 or decisions probably your safest bet here. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, like you said, decision here for Victor Henry. I think, he's going to be the bigger guy. I mean, Ronnie Yaya, he's got the submission ability. Obviously, he's got really good jiu-jitsu, but I think Victor Henry is going to be the bigger, stronger guy. Going to be the better striker as well. So yeah, he should be able to take advantage and get the dub here. Let's go, Victor Henry.
All right, me and D-Rose both on La Mangosta. Victor Henry to defeat the legend of Hani Yaya, dude. All right, so up next, we've got one of D-Rose's favorite fighters, the Dirty Bird, Tim Means. He's going to be taking on the Doctor, Uroš Medic. Tim Means is 30. Well, get out of my way. Is 33-15-1 out of his last 5 fights. He is 1-1, lost 3, and 1-1. Win over Nicolas Dalby via decision almost 3 years ago, and a knockout over Andre Fiallo. Dude, what happened to that guy? Me and you were fans of him, and all of a sudden, you just fell off a cliff. Anyway, lost to Kevin Holland, Darce choke, Max Griffin split decision, and Alex Morono guillotine. On the other hand, Uroš Medic lost Mick the Bick Orbai 5 months ago via neck crank. Knocked out Semi the Jedi, one of my favorites, 8 months ago. And then Omar Morelos knockout 2 years ago for the most part. Jalen Turner sub 2 years ago, and Alan Cruz knockout. Anyway, currently odds for this fight are plus 235. Tim Means minus 320 for Uroš Medic. Tim Means 40 years old, like not rounding up. I'm actually rounding down. He's 40 years old, 2 months and a week old. Anyway, he is 6'2" and a 75-inch reach, while Uroš Medic, 31 years old, 6'1" and a 71-inch reach. D-Rose, I don't think Tim Means been knocked out too many times. I know he's been subbed quite a bit. But, yeah, I don't know how many submissions Uroš Medic has, but I guess if Uroš Medic could get a submission, this would be the one, because I feel like every time Tim Means loses, he just gets cracked, and then someone just grabs his neck and he just taps. If Eurosmash does that, I think he can win. But if not, Eurosmash got the power to get Tim Means out of there, and he looks pretty solid up at 170. So give me Eurosmash to win this fight. I don't really know how. What's your thoughts here, though, man?
Yeah, I could see Tim Means, as you said, has not been knocked out too many times. Dude's an old dog. He's going to go in there and scrap. And that's why he's been, kind of one of my favorite fighters is because, he's going in there. He's not going in there to mess around. He's going in there to throw down. And he's good all around. He's got good jiu-jitsu, obviously good striking. And Uros Medic, another guy who I've kind of been a fan of as well and kind of supported in the UFC. He's kill or be killed with his type of fight style. And as you see, all of his fights in the UFC, he's either going for the finish or he's getting finished. But most of his fights, he's going out there to fall on the sword, win, lose, or draw. So that's why, it's such a good matchup for these two. But I do think at this point, Tim Means is taking a lot of damage over his career. Uros Medic, a potent striker. I think he's hard to hurt, hard to hit clean. He has good footwork. He's quick, throws good combinations. Tim Means is a guy who's going to have good boxing and everything. But I just think if he's kind of standing and trading with Uros, I think that's where Uros' power can come into play. And I could see some type of TKO, maybe a late stoppage. If I'm going to go finish by Uros Medic, I'm going to go probably round 3 a decision just to keep it safe. And we know that he had to finish against Semi the Jedi in the 3rd round as well. So I think, could very well be something like that, maybe an accumulation of damage. But let's go Uros Medic here.
Fair enough. Let's see. Y'all just don't want to eat the beans. Stop playing. What do we have? 2 different...
Who you telling? Hell no, I don't want to eat them.
Oh yeah,
hell no, I don't want to
eat them right now.
Yeah, we do. But we got a few more. We
might have a next one right here, man. Where we do have Jonathan JSP Pierce in a Charmin commercial. Going to be taking on the silent assassin, David Onama. Is that new, dude, or did he just copy Vicente Luque's? Dude, he just steals everything from everyone, dude. He's like, I like that celebration.
Literally. Quite literally. The biggest copywriter in the UFC right now is freaking David Onama.
He trained under James Krause, dude.
Understandable how he's such a big snake is because this dude literally steals everything. Damn, where's the Nate Diaz sound? You're taking everything I work for, motherfucker. He's literally taking everything these people work for. What is he doing?
Anyway, JSP is 14-5-0. Out of his last 5 fights, he has only lost 1. It was a ninja choke to Joe Anderson Brito 5 months ago. On the other hand, the silent assassin, David Onama, is 11-2 overall. His only 2 losses ever are to Nate Landwehr via decision in a fight he could have won. And then to Mason Jones in his UFC debut over 2 years ago. Currently, odds for this fight are -174 for JSP Pierce and a +136 for D Rose's David Onama. JSP Pierce, 31 years old, 6 foot and a 71-inch reach, while David Onama, 29 years old, 5'11" and a 74-inch reach. And D Rose, even though I'm wearing the maybe David Onama shirt, maybe Izzy shirt, I am not going David Onama here. JSP puts the pace on people and just pretty much melts dudes. It's just like, dude, it's like the grappling version of how about this? Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. He's got the same kind of style, but I feel like JSP will play on the feet too. It's not quite the same, but they kind of have the same kind of style. That pressure pace, melt you, and when it gets to that 3rd round, if you don't got a lot of gas left, expect to get choked out in that 3rd round. So That's what I expect to happen here, dude. Give me JSP to choke out David Onama probably in the third round. And we've seen David Onama melt. You look back to Nate the Train, baby. That was one of my favorite fights ever, dude. And I know you had to have hated that fight because that was probably one of the ones that, lost to the pick champ that week or something that. Because, just like Onama doesn't have the best fight IQ. Like, I guess, tries to make moments opposed to win the fight. And if he doesn't win those moments, then he's just going to lose that fight. And at some point, if it gets later on in the fight, I think he gasses. So give me JSP Pierce to win this fight via third round submission. What's your thoughts here, man?
Yeah, that Onama and Nate the Train fight. The worst part about that fight was that like Onama basically knocked him out, and like when he went for the ground and pound, like woke Nate Landwehr up, and then it was like, shit. Like as soon as he didn't get the finish, then it was like, shit. I can smell this coming from a mile away. He's starting to gas already. And Nate the Train just took over in that fight. And Nate the Train could have gotten a finish in that fight, but he just kept playing to the crowd. So that was an absolute wild fight. And I guess you could maybe say Anthony Hernandez. That's a pretty good comp to JSP, but I would say not as well with the submissions as Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez, ground transitions are very smooth versus JSP is kind of like a more kind of like position over submission type of guy. But I do think that is a hole in David Onama's game that can be taken advantage of is his wrestling defense. But he has been, I believe they said he's training with, I know he's kind of bounced around a little bit, but I believe he's with Mark Montoya now. And I know, in his last fight against Santos, I know that, he wasn't really going for the takedowns that much, but they were kind of prepared for that potential if, he was to win the exchanges on the feet. And I think that's something that they've been working on going into this fight. And I think, I think that he's got the more power. And I thought in that Gabriel Santos fight, I just thought that he looked a lot more calm and was able to kind of, be selective with his power shots and not gas himself in the first round. So I think if he's a little bit more patient in this fight, as he was in that last fight, kind of that finish will be able to come because the dude does have power. He does have crisp boxing. And I'm gonna go Onama here as a dog to get the upset here.
For our third different pick right there. In the famous words of Nate the Train, if you don't beat me, I'm probably going to win.
He said, beat me up and find out what happens.
There, it's like, hey, if you don't beat me, I'm probably going to win. Like, yeah, like, yeah, one of you two has to win.
That's how the game goes, Nate. Thank you.
Dude, he is a gem, dude. I love Nate the Train, man. Anyway, I'm out of breath now from just kind of laughing at that. Anyway, we've got up next, we've got Jonta Denise taking on Austin Lane. Jonta Denise is 6-0, while Austin Lane is 12-4-0. Out of Jonta's last 5 fights, he is obviously 5-0, as he is 6-0 overall. Austin Lane 12-4 out of his last 5. He won on the Contender Series against some no contest eye poke Justin Tafa, and then got knocked out by Justin Tafa 7 months ago. Anyway, currently odds for this fight are plus 200 for Austin Lane and minus 265 for Jonta Denise. Denise, 32 years old, 6'4" and a 79-inch reach, while Austin Lane, 36 years old, 6'6" and an 80-inch reach. Give me Jonta Denise and knock out Austin Lane. First round, D-Rose. Which way are you going here?
I think the same. Jonta, he's got good striking too. He kind of the dude goes for a bunch of flying knees. So honestly, dude, he kind of looks like Alex Pereira the way he throws his flying knees. Not to say he's as good of a kickboxer, obviously, but But yeah, I think Austin Lane, if he does not get this fight down to the ground quick, I think it can end.
And he
very
doesn't,
quickly here.
dude. He didn't even shoot a takedown against Tafa. Like, dude.
Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, I don't know the fight IQ is quite there either for Austin Lane. He's just willing to throw down, and you throw down with a potent kickboxer like Jonta, man. I think that I think it's gonna be lights out. So yeah, let's go Jonta here.
All right, me and D-Rose both on Jonta Denise. So next fight, we do have the featured fight of the night. We've got killer Karine Silva taking on the Queen of Violence, Ariane Lipski. Killer Karine Silva is 17-4 overall, won all 5 of her last 5, while the Queen of Violence, Ariane Lipski, is 17-8 overall. Out of her last 5 fights, she has only lost 1 fight, being to Priscilla Cachoeira, where she was the queen of violently getting knocked out, dude. Priscilla just boxed her up so early in that fight, dude. But ever since then, dude, she's looked really, really good. Currently, FanDuel has these odds locked, so I'll give you the Tapology ones that are Killer Karine Silva minus 155, your favorite, and Ariane Lipski plus 130, your dog. D-Rose, I don't know if that's your current live odds over there, but if they're different, feel free to let me know. But Killer Karine Silva, 30 years old, 5'5", and a 67-inch reach, while Ariane Lipski is 30 years old, 5'6", and a 67-inch reach. I have had the hardest time picking this fight this week, D-Rose, because I'm a fan of both of these ladies. I do love to pick both of these ladies in their fights, but this one is tough for me because something tells me that this fight will be not a squash match. Like, you know how Karine Silva's been just going ahead, throwing these girls to the ground and like tearing one of their limbs off. I don't know if this will be as easy as her last ones, dude. Ariane Lipski is good, and she's got some paws on her. She's got power as well, dude. And Karine Silva on her feet in one of the fights that I was watching. I'm not sure if it was on the Contender Series or not, but like it went to the second round. She still won, dude. But it was like, oh, she kind of looked like she was gassed. Like she kind of like fell there and then got the sub. So past the first round, she doesn't look too great. And I think this could be an interesting fight, man. I'm going to let you pick first here. So give me your thoughts, and I'm going to let you pick first, man.
Yeah, I do think that it's an interesting fight. As you said, Lipski, I'm still, I am still hurt by her getting boxed the F up by Priscilla Cachoeira, because I remember I believe I had a parlay and she was the last leg for me to win some money. And to watch her Priscilla Cachoeira did not miss. Like she literally landed every single punch she threw and just absolutely boxed up Ariane Lipski. But I mean, Karine Silva's got that power, but she doesn't have that type of potent striking. But obviously, we know the absolute tank that she is. I mean, dude, she's pretty bricked up. Like she almost kind of looks like physique wise, like Hector Lombard. Like she's not like her arms aren't as big, but like dude, she's short, bricked up as hell, and just completely strong. So I do think that Lipski, her best moves are kind of like when she's kind of flowing in combinations, throwing her kicks and stuff like that. But I think that's where Karine Silva can kind of take advantage of the fight with her forward pressure and going for the takedown so much and kind of smothering that potent striking that Lipski does have. Now, Lipski we know that she has some pretty sick submissions on the ground as well. But I think if Karine Silva is dictating the pace on the ground, I think, she could really take advantage of Lipski there. So, I still think Karine Silva gets a submission win here. Maybe it's a little bit later in the fight, maybe round 2 or 3, but I think Karine Silva still gets the job done. And I'm surprised that the line is as low as it is. It's locked on FanDuel right now. It looks like a bunch of action is coming in on it currently. But I'm surprised that she's even in kind of like that 150 range from the previous odds, because I think this is still a good matchup for Silva here.
On DraftKings, currently plus 124 for Ariane Lipski, minus 148 for Karine Silva. So not too far off, dude. I think earlier in the week I saw Karine Silva was plus money. So that's why I was like, interesting. So this one, close fight, dude. I am with you. I think even if she don't get the sub, I think she's going to end up doing enough grappling and get enough control done to where she'll win the fight. I'm just curious, dude. This is kind of a watch for me. How does she look past the second round against someone that doesn't just go away? Or does she go like in there, throw Ariane Lipsky down and do what she's been doing to all these other girls too? Because I'm not stepping in front of this animal that is Killer Karina Silva right now. I think she gets it done still too. But going to be an interesting fight. I don't know if it's as easy as her last ones. So me and D-Rose both on Killer Karina Silva there. And we'll move on to the next one. That is Superman Ryan Spann taking on the Russian Anthony Smith, Bogdan Guskov. Ryan Spann 21-9-0 out of his last 5 fights. He has lost 3 and won 2. Lost split decision to Anthony Smith. Lost via submission to Nikita Krylov. Knocked out Dominic Reyes. Guillotined Iwan Kutalaba and lost to Anthony Smith via rear naked choke. Bogdan Guskov, on the other hand, is 15-3 overall out of his last 5. Knocked out Zalk Palga. Lost to Volkan Uzemir, and then that was before he got in the UFC, so it doesn't even matter. Currently, odds for this fight are a minus 200 for Ryan Spann and a plus 165 for Bogdan Guskov. Ryan Spann, man, the ads are just relentless today, dude. Like,
sure you don't need any more conditioner?
Dude, gee whiz. Anyway, Ryan Spann, 32 years old, 6'5" and an 81.5-inch reach, while Bogdan Guskov is 31 years old, 6'3" and a 76-inch reach. Yeah, D-Rose, you know I'm not the biggest Ryan Spann picker for the most part. Like, I'm not going to pick Ryan Spann to basically win against anyone except for this fight, dude. I picked Zach Palga to beat Bogdan Guskov in his last fight. How dumb would I look if I didn't pick Ryan Spann to also beat Bogdan Guskov in their fight, So Zach Palga didn't get it done, but I suspect Ryan Spann probably hurts Bogdan Guskov at some point and ends up getting a submission. So give me Ryan Spann to submit Bogdan Guskov, and I believe I might have some props on that. Ryan Spann to win this fight via is plus 200. Ryan Spann to win via submission is plus 200, man. DraftKings already knows what's up.
He does win a lot of his fights by submission. I mean, it is pretty well known.
Yeah, but plus 200 by KO, plus 200 by sub. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, what's the rounds in this? What's the round prop right now? I mean, now, the under 1.5 for on FanDuel is minus, because they got it available right now. Under 1.5 minus 280. They know it's going to be a finish. Like they know this fight's going to go to finish. I don't think any of Bogdan's fights have gone to a decision. I believe all his fights have been finished, whether he's been finished or he finishes his opponents. So that's going to be what's interesting. Is even though we have seen Spann get finished early, we have also seen him go 3 rounds. He is coming off a decision loss to Anthony Smith. I think he went the decision with Sam Alvey. Had a couple guys like that he's gone to the decision to. But man, we know how he is. Also, comes a fight IQ. He doesn't make the smartest decisions, because I do think that he can take advantage of Bogdan Guskov on the ground, because Ryan Spann does have good jiu-jitsu and he does have good submissions. But once he gets clubbed a couple times, how many good decisions does he make? I mean, I'm telling you, this image will live in my head forever when he fought Anthony Smith in the very first fight that they fought. As they're getting ready to get prepared for their third fight this weekend. So when he fought Anthony Smith the first time, he literally grabbed Anthony Smith, picked him up from behind, and carried him across the octagon. And Anthony Smith literally just like shrugs his shoulders like, man, he's not going to put me down. As soon as Ryan Spann kind of set him down, Anthony Smith turned around and just fucking clubbed him and hurt him immediately as soon as he landed that first punch. Johnny Walker hurt him early in their fight. the guy gets hurt a lot in his fights, man. And Bogdan Guskov, there's one thing that he does have is that he's got that heavy right hand, man, just like he was able to hurt Palga with. And that was kind of later in the fight as well, after Palga was wrestling him. So, man, I'm going Bogdan with the upset here. It's an underdog. I think he ends up KO in Spain here.
All right. So we have another different pick here. D Rose on.
So Ryan Spann will be 0-3 against Anthony Smith.
So D Rose going with the underdog plus 158 Bogdan Guskov. I'm on the favorite minus 205 Superman Ryan Spann. So we'll move on to the main event. If y'all haven't already, please do us a favor and hit a thumbs up button for your boys over here. We greatly appreciate that. So main event time, it is Ole Body versus Alex Perez, apparently.
The hell out of you with these,
dude. Crazy, dude. We've got Matthias Nicolau taking on Alex Perez, dude. I feel like this fight has been scheduled like 6 or 7 times, dude, and it's finally going to happen. Maybe. We've got 19-3-1 for Matthias Nicolau. He won 4 of his last 5 with a knockout loss a year ago to Raw Dog Brandon Royval, as were Alex Perez, 24-8 overall, lost 3 in a row to Davison Figueroa 3 years ago. A year and 8 months ago, lost to Pantoja, and then maybe lost to Mikhaev, dude, but that was a close fight about a month ago. But so Alex Perez coming in this fight on short notice after Manel Cap pulled out of the fight, I think 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. Currently odds for this fight minus 200 for Matthias Nicolau and a plus 154 for Alex Perez. Matthias Nicolau, 31 years old, 5'6", 66-inch reach, while Alex Perez, 32 years old, 5'6", and a 65-inch reach. D Rose, is this fight even going to happen, man? Does Alex Perez make 125 pounds, dude?
I know that I thought I saw a thing where he had asked for like a catch weight at 130, and then they had I guess the UFC had declined it initially. So, but I mean, if he felt like he could, I felt like he would take the fight if he knew that he could make weight. So I gotta feel that if he's pretty confident in it, that I tend to believe him. And coming in on short notice is going to be like the biggest hindrance to me here, because I've seen a couple people this week actually going with Alex Perez. And I do think that, coming off that Mikhaev loss, you don't want to take any moral victories from a loss or anything like that. But I think he looked a lot better than what people have anticipated. But as you went through, Alex Perez's losses, Davison Figueiredo, no shame there. Alexander Pantoja, no shame there. And it was Muhammad Mikhaev, no shame there as well. They're all 3 great fighters. But I do think a 3-week turnaround, he's turning around very quickly, going against Matthias Nicolau, who I do think can go in there and work some of the takedowns to work some of that energy off of Alex Perez early. I think if Alex Perez basically doesn't get a finish early, I think Matthias Nicolau is going to end up drowning him later in the fight. So I think he ends up using his wrestling and his pressure to kind of drown Alex Perez as the fight goes. So I want to go Matthias Nicolau here, probably by decision. It's probably not going to be the most eventful fight, but I think Matthias Nicolau is going to end up doing what he needs to do to kind of get a win and rebound off that Royval loss. So let's go Nicolau.
Couldn't have said it anything better myself, dude. I got Matthias Nicolau winning this fight via decision. Well, and as you said, if like Alex Perez can't do something to get Matthias out of there early, I don't think he gets him out of there, because Alex Perez kind of gasses later on in the fights. Maybe Matthias Nicolau could be a little chinny, dude, but as you said, if he don't do it early, he ain't getting it done because Alex Perez gasses. So give me Matthias Nicolau to win this fight via decision. Just stay safe the first couple rounds and then just kind of pick apart and, win the last 3 rounds via decision for Matthias Nicolau. That's the way I see it going. So me and you both on Matthias Nicolau here to win the fight. So I think we have 4 different fights. And Lush already having it here for us. Hits us up here. Here we go. We do have a you guys picked different on, or I believe Ann Lush became a member for 3 more months as well. So Appreciate you, Lush, for being the loyal Lush Lomain over here. You guys pick different on one Mahashate versus Mobley Benitez, Yontop versus Padilla, JSP Pierce versus Onama, and Superman Ryan Spann versus Russian Anthony Smith. So for this pick, champ, and 3 possibly being boozled, but 2 being boozled, what is the what's your 3 fights for this week, D-Rose? What do you feel like me keeping the pick champ on this week?
2 win a possible. Yeah, let's go. I'm not feeling as good about that Mobley and Mahashate fight. So let's go Yontop, Padilla, Pierce Onama, and well, actually, yeah, let's go. Let's stick with it. Yontop, Padilla, Pierce Onama, and Spann Guzkov. Let's stick with those 3. Those are 3 awful.
Throwing off the
fights.
first fight. Throwing off
the Mahashate and Benitez fight.
All right,
and,
so I got
bottom 3.
I got a dog, and you got.
I got 2 dogs. With Onama and Guzkov.
Yeah, but I guess they're the 2 closer ones. They're the 2 closer ones because the first fight.
Spann minus 200.
Yeah, but Mahashate is minus 215. So I mean, that's your 2 closest ones aside from the one that you got the big favorite in. But yeah, so all right, that's going to be our different picks for this week. For the pick champ and the eat the beans, the bean boozled that you guys see in the intro, is going to be first different fight is going to be Yontop versus Padilla, Goku versus Taco, if you will. We got Jonathan JSP Pierce, or I'm sorry, I'm going Taco. D Rose is going Goku. We've got Jonathan JSP Pierce versus the Silent Assassin, David Onama, where I'm going JSP Pierce. D Rose is going the Silent Assassin, David Onama. And our last fight is going to be Superman Ryan Spann versus Bogdan Guzkov, where I'm on Superman Ryan Spann and D Rose on the Russian Anthony Smith Bogdan Guzkov. So, yeah, man, pretty cool. I'm excited. We got some fights this weekend. Hell yeah. You got any?
Gonna play a little bit of action on.
You got any bets or anything already? I think I made one. I made one earlier in the week, dude, or it may have been. Yeah, it may have been. Here we go. Yeah, 4/19 at 12:59 a.m. So, when was that?
What day was it?
4/9. So on the 18th at midnight. So
you must have done that like last Friday.
Last Thursday night, I made this bet. It's plus 906. Caio Machado, Euro Schmedic, Karine Silva, Ryan Spann, and Matthias Nicolau. I put $10 to win $100.60, but I'm sure odds are way different now. I got Caio Machado minus 113, Euro Schmedic minus 260, Killer Karine Silva minus 146, Ryan Spann minus 205, and Matthias Nicolau minus 186. So, yeah, odds for that are probably way gone at this point. But I'll for sure have more bets before Change the Cheddar on Friday though. Do you got anything, D Rose, or do you have anything that you plan on betting?
I haven't looked at anything heavy too much yet. I am looking at that Bogdan line a little bit. Bogdan and as we got a zoo going on back here. But yeah, I'm looking at that and probably going to look at the play maybe a Karine Silva by submission round 2 or 3 combo just to see what those odds look like a little bit. But I'm waiting for most of the other props to drop before I get a little too crazy.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't mind that or the Naliang fight under. The under in the Naliang fight is what I like.
Whatever the under, even if it's a quarter of a round, he will like the under in a quarter of a round.
Indeed. Wednesday fulfilled. Thank you, boys. Who's starting the train class? You guys don't have to do that. Please don't. You need not follow. Don't be crazy. All right. There we go. We appreciate you guys. Stay safe, everyone. See you all Friday. Indeed, Lush Lemaine. So with that being said, we appreciate all you guys for taking the time out of your night, stopping by, hanging out with your boys over here on the Golden Octagon. Let's see here. Thanks, guys. Great stuff as always. Appreciate you, Tim. So with that being said, I'll be here Friday night, 10 p.m. for Change to Cheddar, get my last minute bets and picks, and, kind of got to reset this week because I'm after UFC 300, I need to take a step back and build back up the account, zeros, because ouch. 300 was a hit to the, not really, I don't want to say the bank account because I planned for it, put some money aside, from time to time because I planned on making the $300 bet for 300, but I would say save back up on the confidence, start back where my smaller parlays and, so that's what you can look forward to Friday here on the channel for Change of Cheddar. But anything before we get out of here, D-Rose?
Sometimes you got to see the ball go through the hoop, man. Sometimes you got to see the ball go through the hoop, get the confidence back, and keep it rolling. That's what I'm gonna try to do this weekend. So good luck to you boys out there, and let's make some money this weekend.
Hell yeah. With that being said, my name is Matt. D Rose is on that side of your screen. This has been the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast, and we'll catch y'all right back here next week, Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. And shout out Tim for gifting one more membership before we get out of here. So I appreciate you, Tim. Thanks for gifting one more membership. Truly supporting the channel, my guy. So with that being said, me and D Rose will catch you guys right back here next Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Until then, we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.